Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg. Join me again for our tax update for the year and breakdown. Misty Dodge, your finance director here at the City of Fitchburg. Misty, included in each tax bill is an insert, which I love when you started doing this because there are a lot of questions, and certainly we want to make sure that you can get your questions answered, but more importantly, know where to go for certain items. So this talk today is all about answering those questions. How do I pay it? Where do I pay it? Why am I paying it? Blah, 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 blah. We're going to get through all of that. But we start right away with the fast facts on the side there, which is pretty helpful. So point out a couple of things that you would like people to know about this year's tax bill in the fast facts.
Yeah, and so I do like this section too because we use the same facts every year, and so people could go back and see kind of how things have changed in Fitchburg, and things have changed quite a bit, and just see in numbers and in statistics how that's all worked. So a couple that I point to the most, so the average overall tax rate, because there's all three districts, it's the average, is $20.53. The average home increased $617 in total for all of the jurisdictions. And then if you look at just the Fitchburg portion of the tax bill, that increased $26 on the average home.
And I'm going to jump on page 2 here, what makes up your tax bill. Since we are talking about it, I think it's important for people to know, and we talk about it when we break down the tax bill, your taxing jurisdiction. Well, there's a word, tough one. But the tax bill is made up of multiple jurisdictions. Point those out to us.
Exactly. So even though City of Fitchburg mails out the bills and we do this first round of collections, it's actually only about a third of that tax bill that goes to city functions. So this pie chart shows all the jurisdictions that are on there. Madison College at 4%, the county at 15%, but the bulk of the tax bill is for your school district and is 48% on average.
Yeah, I think it's good to know that. I even think when I started working in government, understanding like, because I wasn't a homeowner then, so I would have never actually seen how that really breaks down. So I think it's good to know that. All right, so let's get into a couple of the important pieces here. First off, how can I pay my taxes? A very, you think like, well, it's easy.
Yeah.
There's a couple different ways, which is awesome. So break this down.
Yeah, we try to make sure that there's a lot of options so that it's convenient for people to pay their taxes. For most of our homeowners, maybe not most, several of our homeowners, they escrow their property taxes. So they might get an escrow check from the escrow company associated with their mortgage. Sometimes those escrow checks come here to the city directly, in which case we will just apply it and it won't be a problem. Sometimes those escrow checks go to the homeowner, and then the homeowner needs to get that to us. The big thing to watch out for there is if the escrow check is made out to the homeowner and the City of Fitchburg, we need them to sign the back of it so that we can cash it. And then also we have to apply the full amount of the escrow check. So even if the homeowner only wants to pay the first installment, we have to apply that full amount. We cannot refund anything unless it's over the total amount that's due.
Interesting. Well, make sure you double check that. And of course, our staff here will help you figure that out as well. How about making payments by check?
So check is how we get most of our payments. So big things to keep in mind here is that it needs to be made out to the City of Fitchburg. If you could include on the memo line what parcel it is that you're paying, either by the parcel number, the bill number, something so that we can just make sure that that gets applied to the right tax bill is really helpful. And then when we do get those checks, even if they're in person, we cash them immediately. So people are going to want to make sure that those checks are good before they hand them over to us.
You don't wait till the end of the 30. That would be very difficult on staff to do that. So, and there is fees if you don't. If there wasn't the money wasn't in the account when you guys go to charge it, there's a fee to that.
Absolutely.
It's important to point that out. And do not use your bank's online bill payment service or bill pay service. Why is that?
Yeah, so technically you're still able to do that payment method. We just don't advise it because we've had a handful of situations where it's gotten confused and either the bill number wasn't updated so it went to the wrong parcel or the information wasn't all there, and it just created confusion both for us and for the homeowner. So we just don't recommend it. Obviously we will take it if that's how they choose to do, but recognize that it could cause problems.
Yeah. All right. Cash payments. Can we make cash payments?
Absolutely. Best, though, would be to come into City Hall and make those payments, and then you'll get a receipt right away that shows that you made that payment and you have a document. We do accept payments in the Dropbox and by mail, but we really wouldn't want people to put cash in either of those if they can avoid it.
All right, very important indeed. How about online check or credit cards and using PSN?
Yes, we do have a third-party vendor, that's PSN, that will help facilitate that online payment. So you can do it by credit card or by ACH or e-check. If you use that process, the credit card fee is 2.75%, so you want to make sure you're aware of that before you hit the pay button. If you do the e-check fee, it's only $1. So sometimes that proves helpful because it figure in the cost of postage in an envelope, you just know it's in there, you get your receipt right away, and you know that it's taken care of. One big thing to note in this section, though, is that we turn this service off as of January 28th, even though the due date's January 31st, because we need to have that money in our bank account by the 31st, and it takes a few days for that information or that money to transfer from PSN to us. So if you are waiting till the last minute, you can't use online payment.
Gotcha. All right, moving on to where do I pay my taxes? Well, you're like, come on, but yeah, there's two different times where you're going to be paying taxes. So for the most part, if you're going to mail your taxes, where are we sending them?
Here at City Hall, the address is included in there, and if possible, include that payment stub that you have on the end of the bottom of the tax bill, so we can make sure it goes to the right place. But at the very least, again, just include it in the memo line, so we can make sure it goes.
Yeah, you even got that bill number. I learned that the last time. You can add that to it as well. Cash payments, though, in the mail?
No, I mean, we don't recommend it, right? So
No.
Once it's in the mail, we can't control over where that money goes. So if you are going to do cash, definitely bring it in and hand it to us directly so that we all know that it was paid.
Fantastic. We do have a drop box that is open to residents 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, so if you don't want to mail it, you don't want to do online, you don't want to come in person, we do have the drop box. So that is at the front of City Hall. There's kind of those two double doors. It's in between those double doors. So it's a secure area. There's a drop box there. 24/7, you can put it in. We check it every day. Again, don't use cash.
I was just going to say, what about that cash payment?
Yeah, definitely recommend just checks. And also, too, if you come to City Hall and there's a huge line and you don't want to wait, you can always throw your payment in the drop box during business hours, too, and we'll get it at that point.
Yeah, you guys check it pretty frequently to get it as time allows.
Yep.
And then in person, we have our normal business hours, but there are times, because it's the holidays, where City Hall might be closed.
Yeah, so we included those in the inserts, too, so it's the standard holidays that we are closed for.
7:30 to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, unless otherwise stated there, as you see on the screen. And then there is online as well. We kind of talked about it, but again, you can use that, but be aware of when and how to use that.
Exactly.
All right, perfect. We also have a new software that's in place this year that we're test trialing out. So we're asking people to be just a little bit more patient with us as we work through it. What would you like to tell everybody about that?
So the tax collection software we use is actually a Dane County software, and we agreed to be part of the pilot this year to help kind of work through some of the kinks and make sure that the software is working how people expect it to in the easiest way and still balancing. So with that comes a great opportunity to help shape what that software does and make sure it's good. The downside, of course, of being in the pilot is we have to pivot sometimes and things don't work how we quite think it should. So we do just really hope that people will be patient with us if we're learning the new software, just not quite as confident in receipting in the software as what we have in the past.
Yeah, hopefully it works out and you get your receipts faster. I mean, that's the bottom line there is efficiency, so we'll keep an eye on that. Lottery credits to reduce your tax bill. Do you qualify? I love that title, and yes, we want you to be aware of this.
Yeah, and the lottery credit is a pretty significant dollar amount, so they all three school districts increased pretty significantly this year. All three of them are over $300 credit that you can get to your tax bill if you're eligible. If people notice that it's not on their bill and it was their or the previous owner's primary residence as of the 1st of 2023, super simple form that just needs to get filled out and sent in to us, and we can make sure that credit gets applied.
Fantastic. When are the bills actually due? So it does mark it on your bill at the different times, but give us the 2 dates that we need to make sure we lock down on.
Yeah, so the first due date would be January 31st of 2024. Payments through then would all come here to the city of Fitchburg. If you are a real estate taxpayer and you are choosing to make the installments and have met the different installment benchmarks, you could do first installment by January 31st and second installment by July 31st. Big difference, though, is after the 31st, all those payments need to go to Dane County directly.
Yeah, and that is noted on the tax bill and on our website. So if you can't remember that, we got you covered there on that. How can I get a receipt? Well, we know from the software that it comes a little bit faster, but how do we get that receipt?
Yeah, so that's the huge benefit of the new software. So in the old software, we only updated receipts to Access Stain twice during the whole season, once in the middle of December and once in the middle of January. One of the biggest benefits of this new software is they will be updated within a week. So if you need it for just your accounting purposes or for income tax purposes, getting your receipt off of Access Stain is the easiest way. You have control over that. Or if you want a printed receipt, you just have to include a stamped self-addressed envelope with your payment, and we'll make sure to get that out.
Fantastic. And finally, just want to make sure we cover it on the lottery credit for the date specifically that applies for people. So we told you how much the makeup is of it, but I jumped the gun there. Want to make sure you let people know what is the dates to apply for the lottery credit. So
it's based on primary residence 1/1 of 23. You can file with us here at Fitchburg through January 31st, 2024. After that, you have to file directly with the state from February 1st to October 1st of 2024. And if you miss that window, then it's too late for that year. So really want everyone to look at that, make sure that that's included on their bill if they're eligible.
Yeah, and you can ask, I know a lot of people ask, when they get here, they ask that question. So, I mean, we'll be happy to answer that for you, but that information's online for you to get that form filled out. Finally, we talked about this on the tax bill, but what is your trash pickup or PU special charges? And it might not just be trash. I mean, we see trash on there too, but special charges.
So there's a variety of different special charges that could be on the tax bill, but that trash PU pickup is the one that's the most common. So this is the pass-through charge from Pelletary, the contractor that does the trash pickup. We have a special charge that helps recover that cost, and that's on all homeowner bills.
And those actually play out early on. So the other side of your job is putting a budget together and doing all these things. You guys do a great job with all of this, and certainly appreciate the time for you going over this.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Thank you so much for helping us get the word out. I know it's a lot of numbers and a lot of data, so really appreciate that we can help educate.
All right, if people have any additional questions, where can they find the materials or get a hold of you?
So best spot, of course, first would be the city's website. A lot of information out there, including frequently asked questions, links to documents, all of that is there. But if you'd prefer to just talk to someone, you can give us a call, you can stop in, or you can email us. We're always happy to answer questions.
All right, fantastic, Misty. Thank you so much. We'll see you back in 2024.
Excellent, thank you.